Go ahead.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. So just to introduce myself, so I'm Christine Hauck. I'm a design arts educator. My background is that I have my master's from Parsons School of Design, the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum. I have my bachelor's from Vassar College. I'm an adjunct professor for University of Connecticut in digital media. I'm a multimedia artist. I'm a graphic designer and an arts educator. So I hope you get a lot out of this. I started giving these lectures for the Westport Senior Center in the summer. I haven't been here for a few months. And today we're talking about Vera. And yes, hi Vera. She's on the left here. You see her working in her studio. And I titled this lecture, Vera, the Art and Life of an Icon, because she is an icon. The caption that's there below that may be a little bit hard to see is her full name is, she's known by Vera, but her full name is Vera Newman. She was born in Stamford. I believe it's July 24th in 1907. And she passed away in Tarrytown, New York in 1993. The quote below is by her longtime friend, Ray Luber. And it says, Vera couldn't decide whether to be a wife, a mother, an artist, a business entrepreneur, or a world traveler. So she was all of them. We're starting out this morning talking about MAD. MAD stands for Museum of Arts and Design. It's one of my favorite museums in New York. They had the first retrospective exhibition of Vera, and it was called Vera Paints a Scarf. You can see the dates there. If you're curious to run it again or learn, see more examples of Vera's work or read more background, I would definitely go to one of their archive videos. It's the Art and Design of Vera Newman, August 8th, 2019 to January 26th, 2020. My caption is Vera Newman at work in her studio doing her preferred technique is Japanese sumai, which is black ink painting. And I'll be reading you about her technique as we go through the presentation. And you'll be seeing lots of examples of it. It's a very difficult technique to do, let me tell you. I've tried this. I tried this, and I have been sketching my entire life, and I have difficulty with this technique. So you're looking at a wall of some of her printed scarves that were in this exhibition. The exhibition was fabulous. I definitely recommend going in and seeing more examples on MAD's website. This is a plug for the exhibition. I'm going to read you a little bit about her. She was an artistic visionary, for sure. So Vera Paints a Scarf celebrates the work of artist Vera Newman, 1907 to 1993, and her contributions to the field of American design. Newman was among the most successful female design entrepreneurs of the 20th century and an originator of the American lifestyle brand. Over the course of her career, which spanned from her label's debut in 1942 to her death in 1993, Newman produced an iconic line of women's scarves, all signed with a cursive Vera and stamped with a ladybug, as well as thousands, and I do mean thousands of textile patterns based on her drawings, paintings, and collages. The Vera Paints a Scarf exhibition is the first to comprehensively examine her career and highlight the keys to her success. Her joyful and inventive aesthetic, democratic design ethos, fusion of craft and mass production, and clever marketing. Telling the story of the artist behind the Vera brand, Vera Paints a Scarf, offers a selection of paintings produced in Newman's preferred technique, Japanese sumai, it should be actually black ink painting, from which her textile designs derive. What you're seeing on the left here is a small screenshot of the quick little video, a 19-second video. We have a Vera paints a scarf. You're seeing on your left too, reading from left to right, how it's sort of stacked there. You're seeing how her branding, her marketing branding evolved. So she starts out with her Sumi like Vera, right? She starts out with just a copyright. And then she thinks about it some more and she says, I should make it bigger and make the copyright smaller. And then she thinks about it, I think I want Vera, and then I want copyright, and then I want a bug. And I don't know where the ladybug comes from. But then the last iconic one is the ladybug. She is so identified, not as Vera Newman, but Vera and the ladybug. You see that it's an instantaneous, it's like a 2-second recognition of that brand. It's so powerful. Okay, so Jason, we're gonna let you run that Facebook for me. So I'm gonna stop share.
This is Vera. Her artwork reflects an easy sense of beauty in nature. Vera's unusual perception of color is the principal source of her art, and her artistic integrity has, over the years, influenced every design and every designer working here.
Okay, and I have to get back to this. Forward. Okay, then I have to share screen. Okay, so to continue, this is one of the 2 books that Mad co-authored with Schiffer publisher. It's called Vera Textiles. It's a fabulous book. I think it's almost 100 pages. Add color to everyday fashions. So, so just to continue what we're talking about as far as Vera and Vera Newman, the Vera Paints a Scarf, the exhibition then continues with a broad exploration of her design work through over 200 objects from her lines for the home and women's fashion produced between 1950 and 1980, including original works on paper, textiles, and garments, archival photographs, and video, as well as the ephemera related to the company's marketing campaigns, which ingeniously used the tagline Vera Paints to promote her mass market label. So now we're going to see a very, very short. So I'm going to stop share. We're going to have Jason come in and run this. This ran on Mad's site. There's not going to be any sound. It was on their website. It was on Facebook. It was a promo for the exhibition. Very simple. Okay. Okay. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Let's go. So Vera Newman, or Vera, as we affectionately call her, as an artistic visionary, was a designer like Vera is, I don't even think I've listed everything that she was, or, that we know her for, but I just made this list. So she was a super designer. She was an artisan craftsman. She was a women artist. She was a textile designer, a female design entrepreneur, a clever marketer, and a world traveler. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have Jason roll. This is a little bit longer of the videos we've been watching, but it gives you a background for Vera. And I want to share it with you. So this is the video that Mad developed. It was What Was Good Design? And we're going to watch this now. Just go back. Oh, there you go. So Jason, roll this.
Is very Newman.
It's a low talker.
Laugh on the 24th of July 1907, Stamford, United States, was the third of four children to Russian immigrants, Fanny and Maya Solaf. Her father, Maya Solaf, was an amateur musician who believed in encouraging his children profoundly in their passion and interest in creativity, as well as urging them to have dreams to work towards too. Newman's father would even go as far to pay her 50 cents for every sketchbook she would fill with drawings and paintings, and on Sundays they would make their way to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, now containing many of her own designs. After graduating from the Cooper Union School of Science and Art in 1928, Newman enrolled and furthered her studies at the Traphagen School of Design, taking still life and illustration classes. There, Vera emerged to the tantalizing world of art and fashion in the possibility of a career that fused fine and commercial art. Newman soon began to work as a textile designer, but was challenged ethically when she was given the task of recreating knockoff designs from authentic designers. Appalled, Newman resigned from the company and left to design children's furniture and murals for Childhood Inc. in New York, where she'd later meet her husband, George Newman, the advertising executive from the same agency, who came from a family proficient in textiles. Shortly after their marriage, the couple and their friend Warner Ham formed a partnership and established a textile company called Printex in their tiny studio apartment in 1942 by risking $1,000 each, with only a silkscreen, a kitchen table, and the support of her husband George for starters. The first products of placemats and linen fabrics were given to B. Altman & Co. for the company's initial sales, and soon after, the company began to flourish. Due to the high demands of linen and cotton for the war effort, materials were scarce. However, inspiration struck as Newman was out in the market looking for usable materials. She discovered excess parachute silk from army surplus stores, and from there, her first iconic silk scarves were introduced and became hugely popular in the 60s, catching the attention of many famous icons such as Marilyn Monroe, who posed with a Vera scarf in the last photo shoot she had before her death, and First Lady Bess Truman used Vera-designed fabric to decorate the third-floor solarium windows and upholstery at the White House. The most distinguishable feature in all of Newman's design is his signature and a ladybug symbolizing good luck. Always inspired by nature, Newman was quoted saying, "Nature overwhelms me constantly." Later towards her career, Newman created designs with more geometric shapes and lines, but with the same bold, abstract language of color embedded in her designs. Newman and her husband George also applied Bauhaus principles throughout their works, with a combination of handcraft and industrial processes. However, every design is an original painting. Newman's products grew from table linens to scarves, garments, furniture, and many more. As the business continued to bloom, their apartment was outgrown, and Newman and her husband moved out in search for a larger place where they could pencil in more companies and businesses interested in their products, as well as more room for themselves. They discovered a Georgian mansion in New York Hudson Valley, which had a printing facility in the lower floor, and soon enough, they had made the mansion their home, residing in an upper level of the mansion. During the mid-1950s, Newman and her husband chose to relocate to Westchester County to expand their company again, this time commissioning with architect Marcel Breuer to design the showrooms and printing facility. From there, the business became a 24-hour operation, and by 1967, due to the untimely death of George in 1962 and high demands of her products, Vera sold the company to the Manhattan Shirt Company for $5 million. She retained presidency of the Vera Company's subsidiary and was the only female on the board of directors. By 1972, her designs were sold in 20,000 stores around the world, with everything from sportswear to housewares. She was arguably the first true lifestyle brand. On the 15th of June 1993, Vera Newman passed away from a cardiac arrest at the age of 86. Despite her passing, however, Newman's designs are currently still reproduced till this day under the Vera Company license to brands such as Anthropologie, Crate and Barrel, Metropolitan Museum of Art, as well as Bed Bath and Beyond. Newman's screen-printed silk artwork, Stone on Stone, is part of the Museum of Modern Art's What Was Good Design exhibition, which demonstrates Diorama's 10 principles of good design. Firstly, good design is aesthetic. Stone on Stone is aesthetic as Newman's choice of complementary colors are pleasing to the eye and adheres to a more industrial theme. Secondly, good design is honest. Stone on Stone is a textile piece with the intent to act as a decorative piece with the purpose of enhancing space and nothing else. Good design is also meant to be environmentally friendly. This means that the end product must be contributing to the preservation of the environment. Stone on Stone was printed on silk, which is produced naturally by the larvae of insects undergoing complete metamorphosis, and is a sustainable resource that doesn't have much impact on the environment. Good design is as little design as possible. Stone on Stone's usage of only a single geometric shape to create a repetitive pattern with shades of grey and a primary color demonstrates the quality of good design because of its simplicity and omitting any distraction to the essential aspects. Good design is also long-lasting. Despite being produced in the 1950s, Stone on Stone's simplistic design is still considered stylish in the 21st century because good design is long-lasting and valued for being timeless. By learning about Newman's approach towards art and design from this assignment, the key to a successful art career, from what I understand, is not only to strive and take risks, but to also be confident and assertive in what you do and how you do it. I've also learned that a good design is a timeless design, meaning that if I were to create a design in the future, I must create something that lasts forever, rather than dying away like any other trend, so that the design and meaning are valuable through years to come. And if I were to produce any products in the near future for my career, I must first consider how eco-friendly the materials used in the production is and how to maintain a sustainable resource so that the environment can be of less harm. That way both producer and consumer are more comfortable in the product. Another important aspect I've come to be aware of is how closely Newman focuses on attention to detail. This is a factor I need to work towards, as it's the small accents in the artwork that can influence the artwork's sentimentalism. I aim to implement the skills I've learned from Vera Newman to better my works in the future so that I may also bring out the same quality of works for my clients.
All right. So that was kind of fascinating. Okay, so we are back to the second book that was co-sponsored by MAD and for Vera, The Art and Life of an Icon. And I'm going to be showing you some select pages from this. I can't possibly cover all of the categories in this talk, but I am going to stop periodically to read some really important text from some of the pages. So what you're seeing here on this first spread on the left is you're seeing.
Can you make sure you share your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay, actually, I go back to this. Okay. Okay, so so this is the second book that was co-sponsored by MAD. Vera, The Art and Life of an Icon. Susan said with Jen Renzi. Photography by Stephen Meckler. You're looking at the left here of a quick sketch by Vera that was probably the basis for any number of products or, either clothing or housewares, or this is, you're seeing probably something that was done with her painting in Sumi ink. So this spread shows on the left, it's sort of yellowed like tape there. It probably was, she probably did these sketches with maybe a marker. She might have done this with a Sharpie marker. If you look in the far left and then look to the right, you see the exact translation of a conceptual sketch of buildings and then how it became a scarf. So look to the left, look to the right, and then you'll see how tightly she goes into detail to render something and then how it's translated into a product. In this spread here, we're seeing she's starting to develop a floral design. On the right here, you see, it says, Macy's commissioned Vera in 1976 to create a painting for store shopping bags to commemorate its annual flower show in San Francisco. Below, you see a scarf that is depicting the Foucault pendulum. And then in the far bottom right, you see Vera at work. You see her with her Sumi brush doing her signature, Vera. Vera, it says, Vera was the first fashion designer to sign her name on scarves. When she started silk screening placemats, she decided to keep the signature that was on her original paintings. This, I'm going to read you the text because it's so important. It's how she got started painting with Sumi brushwork. You can see examples of her brushwork on the left. On the right, you can see her using her brush. And let me just read this. So, need to see this. We can just show this to the side. Just leave this up on the screen while I read. No, I guess I can't do that. Okay, so despite Vera's dexterity in such a wide range of media, she often employed sumi, a Japanese phrase translated as black painting. This ancient East Asian technique in which the artist holds the brush vertically was first practiced in China. Obsidian ink on white silk or paper created a striking graphic result. Sumi-I's swift decorative brushwork exhibits an economy offline, a sort of dashed off from the gut gesture akin to abstract expressionist painting. Vera, who had studied calligraphy when she was younger, perfected the Sumi technique while in Asia. The first time I was in Japan, I had a wonderful teacher. I really took to it, she said. The style was well suited to artistic sensibility. Even her earliest drawings reveal a decisiveness characteristic of Sumi-I. She explained the technique's appeal. It allows me to leave out everything extraneous. With one brushstroke, I can be both impressionistic and graphic. You could paint it up with a lot of brushstrokes, but it would add nothing and detract much. Less was truly more. Sumi-I enabled Vera's remarkable expressionism. The flowing lines artfully captured the evanescent beauty of plants and flowers. Although some of her paintings could be quite minutely detailed, even her densest compositions had an inherent spontaneity. Her brushwork was explained in her company's promotional materials. It does not attempt to achieve detail, but strives rather for the essence of a leaf, a flower, a form. It is roughly, rather than meticulously painted, abstract in concept and line. Okay, so I think I have to share. Oh, it's here. Okay, good. So this is another spread from the book. And what I want to read to you here is on the left here, it says, sometimes images just emerged from her subconscious. I always sleep with a small sketch pad on my night table, she said. I sometimes think of the most fantastic patterns at night and in the early morning hours. If a bird or squirrel passes, my 2 dogs bark, and sometimes I wake up dreaming of a design. Vera lived, breathed, and even slept art. You can see examples of some of her scarf designs there. On the left, on the right, you can see a young girl wearing one of the scarves with school buses on it and parking lots. You can see another scarf there that shows school buses lined up in a row there. And then you can see down below, you can see a scarf that's, it looks like martinis, I don't know, Sundays and martinis, I'm not sure. Motifs. Many who worked in the studio contend that Vera preferred designing bold geometric patterns best, but painting blooms, blossoms, and all things botanical was second nature. She felt immense affection for florals, and fans responded to her pure love of the subject. Her imagery was incredibly diverse and often quite quotidian. Every object, such as eyeglasses, school buses, ice cream sundaes, became wondrous objects in Vera's hands. Her portfolio also featured a number of recurring motifs, and here are some of them. And that's what I'm going into. There's like, oh my gosh, I think there's maybe 30 categories. I'm not doing all 30 categories, but I'm doing many of the categories, so you can just get a sampling. This is one category. She loved fish, did lots of fish. Big or small, striped or scale, Vera's playful fish came in many guises, but they always had a smile. Bird cages. She had scarves with bird cages. This is, I'm showing you just again the cover I showed you before, which was sort of a collage of many of her household, pillows and housewares that she designed. But I wanted to show you this opposite clothing, because later when she branched out in her marketing, and she has many different clothing lines, you're seeing an advertisement, right? Probably from the 70s, 80s, right? Vera textiles add color to everyday fashions. Jeanette and Catherine Michelet wrote this. What is old is new again. Nowhere is this more evident than in the world of fashion and textile design. Vera Newman, better known simply by her first name and distinctive signature, created clothing and textiles that are as fashionable today as they were in the 1960s and 70s, when the artist was at the height of her career. Designing for the average woman, Vera was known for her bold geometric designs and bright splashy florals. With over 500 color photographs.
Hey, Christine, can you share your screen? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had, we'll start again. So sorry. Vera Textiles Add Color to Everyday Fashions by Jeanette and Catherine Michelet. What is old is new again. Nowhere is this more evident than in the world of fashion and textile design. Vera Newman, better known simply by her first name and distinctive signature, created clothing and textiles that are as fashionable today as they were in the 1960s and 70s, when the artist was at the height of her career. Designing for the, quote, average woman, Vera was known for her bold geometric designs and bright splashy florals. With over 500 photographs in this book, Vera Textiles, this book documents Vera's vibrant scarves, blouses, dresses, sleepwear, kitchen textiles, bed linens, and dishes, some of which are shown in original packaging. included in a biography of Vera as well is a price guide, bibliography, and shopping resources. This first ever guide to the famous Vera will appear to collectors, textile and design students, as all who love retro fashion. I just wanted to just throw this in quickly. She, as a marketer, she was just the best marketer ever. When she came out with her scarf line, she came out with a booklet that is called The Art of Scarf Tying. You're looking on the left at the front and back, the front cover and then the back cover, which has her signature Vera. You're on the right, you're seeing how to tie neckties and how to tie headscarves. This is the first category, Vera paints florals. Each one, she does a little quote, so I'll read you the quote. I'm not going to read you everything that's on here, but it gives a nice, I tried to show spreads that show a sampling of her work. So the first quote here for Vera paints florals, I get inspiration from my garden. I can't understand it when people say you can't mix and match certain colors when, after all, nature itself puts them together in such beautiful ways. Here's some more florals. Look at the diversity in her designing. It's just absolutely incredible. 2, Vera paints geometrics. Color sings to me. Color is such a marvelous way of expressing emotion. We have so many problems in this world. Color just brings a little bit of joy into our lives. More geometrics. And we have Vera paints stripes and zigzags. If you have too many colors, you could easily get tied down to just one color scheme that can't be changed. So she doesn't want to be tied down. She wants to have as diverse designs as possible. So of course, we segue into 4, Vera paints shears. As you get older, you are losing all the fluff along the way. So I guess shears is non-fluff. Such gorgeous textiles. It's like any of these, how could you wear them? I put them on my wall. They're so gorgeous. I'd be afraid to, oh my gosh, I'd ruin them. And then I would, I don't know if I could wear them. I'd have to have them like as hanging tapestries or something. More shears. Look at these shears. Just incredible. You can see right there, the blue on the right-hand side, the blue dragonflies. Japanese art was very strong. Japanese Chinese art, very strong influence for her. You can see that, absolutely. How she works, what she chooses. And so we're segueing into butterflies. Vera paints butterflies. It's a ladybug, an amusing decorative bug, which is known the world around as a mark of long life and good luck. So this is her painting butterflies. 6, Vera paints leaves and trees. From the beginning, we wanted our designs to be as pure as possible. We used to go into the woods and select leaves and then simply photograph them flat onto the screen. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at the leaves. More representational, more blown up, more abstract, combined, patterns, networked. 7, Vera paints fruits and nuts. Vera, she said, smiling, a leprechaun smile, will be Vera forever. 8, Vera paints ethnic. I've been to China twice, the Orient, and I'm planning a trip to Budapest. Why Budapest? Because I've never been. So here you see, down below, you see she had a wonderful relationship with printers in Japan. She was there several times. You can see that she said Vera traveled the world and returned with new inspirations for her designs. China, Japan, Ireland, Africa, and many more places influenced her art. One notes Native American motifs as well. 9, Vera paints paisleys. Color is the language I speak best. Gorgeous paisleys. How could you wear these? Seriously. Wouldn't you be distraught if something happened to your Vera scarves or your clothing? It's like, okay, so 10, Vera paints patriotic. I'll never stop working. They'll have to carry me out. I'll die in my chair at the studio. Oh, nope, I think sorry. 13, special and promotional. The scarf is becoming to the American woman what fans and veils were to women in the past. So the Vera scarf. I just say of special note are Vera's designs that commemorate a particular place or event, such as the Indianapolis Motor Speedway or Ronald and Nancy Reagan's Rancho del Cielo in California. In this section, we have included scarves with unusual motifs for Vera, such as people and animals. There are also 2 scarves with historic significance, the scarf depicting the Lippert House stencil and the scarf with wood-carved figures. 16, tea towels, hand towels, washcloths, and hot pads. There are lots of women who know the name of Vera because of some of their most unpleasant chores around the kitchen are made cheerier by the sudden sight of a potholder making a gay little spot in the kitchen. Do any of you have these? Tea towels, hand towels, washcloths, hot pads? Blouses. 23, sleepwear. So I'm not sure I have blouses in here. I did do sleepwear because I didn't know that she did sleepwear. So yes, I think that it's art, she says, of her designs. You can always tell a Picasso, not to say I would put myself in the same class as a Picasso, but you develop a style. So I didn't know, even I learned something additional because I didn't know that she had designed sleepwear. So these are examples of her sleepwear. And these are examples of her skirts, dresses, and belts. Most of those big names are out of the grasp of ordinary people. More of the ordinary people can buy my things than a $500 dress or a $200 scarf. It's not because it's cheaper, but I feel I have given people more joy with the designs I created for them. And lastly, we have aprons. Of course, we'd have this as the last category in the book, aprons, because she's designing for the average woman, right? So the creative part of the business is like a fountain. It keeps going, going, going. I don't repeat myself. So the thousands of designs you're seeing, nothing repeats itself, nothing. And to end, I just wanted to do a quick little summary here. So Vera, the art and life of an icon. Today we discovered the art and design of Vera Newman, 1907 and 1993, and MAD's first exhibition to comprehensively examine the designer's prolific and influential career. Vera Newman's joyful and inventive aesthetic combined with a democratic design ethos made her one of the most successful female design entrepreneurs of the 20th century. And I hope you'll go back and watch this and look at more examples on MAD's site. They have a fabulous archive of videos. I totally recommend you go back to MAD. Okay, that's all. So if you have any questions or, go ahead.
Music or art now?
Earlier, when you saw that one YouTube video, obviously she's passed away, but her name is